Hello, everyone. Welcome to another community call of Kleros. This is Wednesday, November 8th. And one of the cool things that happened last week is we were mentioning a really cool report by the United Nations that is targeted at consumer protection agencies from all of the countries that are part of the UN. This is in the context of the UNCTAD. I think it's United Nations Commission on Trade and Development, and so they produce reports regularly covering different elements of basically stuff about economics and the institutions for economic growth. And we were mentioned as one of the technologies that are shaping the future of dispute resolution for consumer claims. Basically, the report covers two key technologies. One of them is AI, and the other is basically Kleros, and it's showcased as one of the innovative projects working on this. This is very related to the work we have been doing with this exchange called Lemon from Argentina about how can we implement Kleros in a process of solving disputes between an exchange and its customers, in a process that is not the type of use cases that we typically mention about Web3 pure on-chain disputes. Here is a bit different. Part of the process happens off-chain, which is cool because the important thing is that Kleros can be used to solve real problems, and if some part of the process should be off-chain, it's okay. That accommodates better a number of use cases. And we also have the experience of the Mexican case where the dispute that was solved by Kleros was landlord and tenant dispute, and the enforcement was done off-chain, so it's all good. We always are looking for our platform to resolve real life situations, and this is how it presented itself in these use cases. So very cool mention of Kleros in the context of UN and consumer claims. Then we, as I mentioned, we are working with this exchange, Lemon. We have been, for now, I think for like over a year already, tuning the use case, tweaking different elements that need to align for this to work. This is a bit more complicated than people think because you have to make lots of different things work at the same time. For example, you need to figure out exactly what are the right parameters for people to have the right incentives to resolve the cases. You have to define what is the right policy for having decisions made in a way that is responding to the needs that the exchange has, or the exchange in this case, or the partner in general. So we have spent a lot of time thinking, figuring out what is the right way to do this, and we had lots of learnings along the way. For example, we learned one thing, that justifications are very important. It's not just about Kleros being able to produce a decision that is accurate and that it's the right decision to be had in the case at hand, but also a number of partners really care a lot about how jurors justify that decision. And in some cases, if you don't have a good justification, then your use case is just worth nothing to the partner. So that is one key learning that we had in this case. And another one is sometimes you have, in particular, when there is a big asymmetry between the parties, helping the weaker party make a better job at making a report to present their case and leveling the playground with the stronger party. Maybe sometimes you need like someone to do this work. We have been, in the case of Lemon, ourselves doing the work of helping the weaker party. This is, of course, not something that we envisioned to be doing at the cooperative in the future. In the future, we expect a number of different companies or other, let's call them decentralized lawyers to handle the helping one of the parties to make a better case, to make a better report, and increasing their odds of winning the case. So this is basically what lawyers do in the traditional world and traditional legal world, where they help their clients present the case in a better light to increase the odds of success. This is something that is also happening in the decentralized justice ecosystem. I will let Marcos, maybe if you want to add something about Lemon or more general updates about business development. The stage is yours.
Well, hey. First place about Lemon, you already mentioned some of the modifications we are doing, as there was mentioned about justifications. But the important thing here, I think, that is we are learning how to work with Web2 companies. It's not very common to have Web3 justice protocols working with Web2 companies, but it's also not common to see Web3 projects working with general Web2 business or companies. So, sorry, that's my dog. but yeah, everything we are doing here is very new. So I wouldn't say it's difficult, but it's new. So everything that we are going to do with this case of Lemon or any other Web2 exchange, we are going to be developing new things that are going to take some time. We are advancing really, really good, but yeah, we're going to be, as I said, developing some new stuff that before we didn't have, because again, before it's not common to work with Web2 projects. That's about Lemon. Where we
let me just paraphrase. Yeah. To paraphrase a great American, we're doing this not because it's easy, but because it's hard. Who said that, William?
Okay.
I'm not sure. I know the quote. Who did that? Was it Roosevelt or?
It was Kennedy. I mean, we're not getting to the moon because it's easy, but we're doing it because it's hard. Yeah. So about the Lemon thing, we're doing this. I mean, we are discovering how these integrations work with the world of Web2, because there is a whole world of Web2 companies out there, and we want to increase as much as possible the use cases of Kleros, and figuring out how these integrations need to work will increase greatly the potential for adoption. And this is not new. I mean, this is the first time we actually get to do it. Not the first one, but the first one that we get so far in the use cases. And this is now resolving real cases. This is not a pilot. It's still experimental, but it's not a pilot. This is actually working now. All of these learnings can be used in other use cases within the world of Web2. Yeah, that's it. Go ahead.
Yeah, I would say that is no. I would. It's not the first one, but it's the first one where we are receiving this quantity of cases, and we are going to receive even more cases when they announce our the partnership in the next. Well, we still don't know exactly, but maybe in the next weeks or next month. So yeah, that's about one of our big fishes. The other big fish this week is that Polka market, an important Web3 prediction market, announced the partnership. I think it was yesterday with Kleros. So that's another really good news for us. And then we have been working. We are having some call with another projects as Rain and Noves. And we were part yesterday of a university event in Argentina, where we have our stand, and we were talking with the students, talking about Kleros, which kind of dispute Kleros is solving. and then we gave a talk explaining again what's Kleros and the decentralized justice. And this week we are going to be in Lisbon, in the Block Summit, and the Dev Connect in Istanbul.
There you go. We're everywhere.
So yeah, we're going to be. Oh, and in the BitConf too. In the BitConf too. So we are going to be everywhere. Yep.
The BitConf from Buenos Aires is, maybe the most OG crypto conference in the world. It's been around for, I don't know, maybe more than 10 years. And so this is one of the most important conferences, in my view, in all of the ecosystem. And also because it is organized in the world capital of crypto, that is, of course, Buenos Aires. Okay, so that's it for business development for this week. Let's go to William now.
Yeah. So things are continuing to hum along for the research team. Yan is like settling into Stanford and making a lot of sort of like contacts and collaborations with people there. Jamila is wrapping up her stay at Hong Kong University, sort of making interesting presentations and things. From my side, we've been drafting a research plan for a potential new academic collaborator, potentially a new researcher at some point. And I've been continuing to think a lot about cellbound tokens, which are, I've talked about in previous calls, these sort of identity-based, like non-transferable NFTs that attest to some aspect of your identity and how they can be used in the drawing of Kleros jurors eventually, weighting people differently, require you have some kind of expertise as evidenced by a cellbound token in order to be drawn in certain cases, weighting you more if you have different sort of cellbound tokens from like the other jurors in the pool. I have a blog article that will at some point be made available to you. It's sort of coming along. I warn you now that like the draft blog article I have is I try to make my blog articles accessible and convey sort of technical ideas accessibly, and I'm still trying to do that here. But like this is there are a lot of like really interesting ideas here, some of which are fairly technical. But I look forward to sharing that with you.
Accessible for advanced cryptographers, like the parameterization article, right?
Yeah, I mean, the parameterization article had some like scary formulas that like, if you really want to understand details of it, you have to like dig into. But I tried to make it accessible. But like it's hard to judge the accessibility of your own stuff. But.
I mean, nobody said that math had to be easy, right? It's okay. I mean, if it's math, it's math.
Yeah.
Yeah. One question, William. Someone asked me today about SBTs. So, of course, we all know the concept and the idea, but are SBTs implemented for real and like in production in some project now? Are you aware of that? Because I don't know the answer.
Not in like wide scale. Like I've heard of like a few projects that are like talking seriously about implementing them. I'm not sure if any of those are live. They're not like, they have not become ubiquitous. And I think there's this like fundamental problem of how does one award SBTs? So like I've heard about some like I think even one of the projects in our incubator, like having like a system in their smart contract where if you like do some negative action, you get like slapped with an SBT that will like follow you around. It's like, and like, but how do you get like credentials and things? And I view Kleros itself, like having curated lists where you sort of submit yourself saying I have this credential, being a good, sort of like the most natural way of sort of dispersing SBTs into the ecosystem. But in terms of what other people are doing, it's still at an early stage.
Right. Well, that's what I thought. So maybe we should give SBTs for graduates from, the fellowship or the boot camp, right? I mean, maybe Jean, you should find out how we can mint an SBT for people. I mean, for the fellowship participants or graduates.
Yes, there's a project that we are in contact with. I believe we can use that, but yeah, I can do this research. I think it will be a valuable SBT.
I mean, that would be cool because, I mean, at some point in the past, what we discussed was to give NFTs, but it's not fun if you sell. I mean, that should not be transferable because it's your thing, right? the graduation of the fellowship, so you shouldn't be able to sell it. So yeah, I mean, if we can actually do that, that would be cool. Okay, well, thank you, William. I know, Jean, do you have any update from your side you want to share?
Yes, this week we had actually it was the end of the last week. We sent the rewards for the Curate incentive program, and there were some adjustments. The updates are on the chat, but we also have a new program that does not require. It is basically to incentivize gathering information, and we will do ourselves the input in the information in Curate, and we aim with that to increase the amount of submissions in short term, since the use of the MetaMask snaps is increasing, and also the integrations with block explorers. So this is one update, and well, there are some updates from the projects from the community. For example, there's a project in the there's participating in the Founders Bootcamp that launched a round of donations for impact projects, and they, of course, they are also in the bootcamp because they are willing to see how to integrate Kleros in their project, but at this and also learn about mechanism design and improve their project. But for now, they are doing this round, and there's also like it is also. Can I say, even if you don't care about any of the projects that are receiving the donation, it makes sense, economical sense to donate. So it's very in line with many of the experiments that we have, like of the way of thinking in Kleros, where the mechanism design is important. So I really recommend taking a look. And also a project called CryptoCampo that uses Kleros as an arbitrator. They are launching their second campaign, and it's live now. And yes, I think that's it for me.
You know, I mean, what we should do. So we should have maybe like as guests one of the projects every week at the community call, so they can maybe do a 5-minute pitch of what they are working on. I mean, I already did a bunch of office hour calls with most of the projects and try to help them with strategy and stuff. And I'm quite impressed. They're quite good. And so they are just starting, of course, and they are like really early stage, but a bunch of projects that I thought were super cool. So I think we should, for now, they are starting to perfect their pitch and improve the way in which they communicate their ideas. But maybe we should have like every community call, like one team coming to pitch their thing. Let's do that, maybe, Jean. Maybe ask who is interested from the teams.
Yes, definitely. Actually, I will probably do a Twitter Spaces with Domino Fund, but he also invited Lauren to participate, but he couldn't at this time. But I believe we could start next week with this project and then continue with the
Perfect. So the bootcamp already, we had the first the opening session. Then we had one with me about strategy design and network effects and interviews for users. Then we had one with William about mechanism design. Then we had one with Clément about economic attacks. And yeah, it's going smoothly. I think people are happy, so all good. And the fellowship program, the applications are closing next week. I think we said, I don't remember if Monday or Wednesday, I think, but it's closing next week. We have a bunch of candidates already of varied interest and different topics. So excited about that. It's already the 7th batch, which is a lot. So that's cool. And I guess that's it for me. Maybe Alex, do you have something to share with the community?
So yeah, quickly as Marcos said, I'm here in Lisbon, and we have the Ethereum Block Summit. So it's very interesting. We had a lot of different talk about different topics. Talks about DAOs, some talks about commands, basically about AI, and other about the digital banking system in Brazil, for instance. So a lot of interesting talks and connection. And personally, I'm also looking into the module we have to try to push it to DAOs. The Zodiac module that is bringing a lot of value. That one of our partners is using it 1inch to secure its treasury. So that's basically my focus here in Lisbon.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Alex. And if you want someone for the Brazilian banking system, we have a Brazilian in the room right now. So yeah, you just can contact him.
Definitely. Thanks.
Bon. Okay, that's it then for today, guys. Thank you all for coming, and well, see you on Telegram, and you can claim your POAP. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everyone.
Cheers.